learned from the lesson. Live in the hills, but I still get a spread. Started with a little, but I still reinvest it. Fear how I feel, then you feel like a blessing. I just want the lesson, I just want protection. I'm up and I'm down, but they sound like progression. Farmer never plans if he waits for perfection. Finger to the down, hold it down, we gon' get it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I got your Watchlist coming in at April 20th, 2020, and there's 3 stocks I'm going to buy tomorrow. I think they're going to go really, really high. Yeah, 420. No, but in all seriousness, though, I have 3 stocks that I'm going to be playing for earnings. We actually have a ton of things to talk about, and I told you guys I was going to get it set up for you. We have all of the earnings, so oh damn it, I accidentally made them bold. I had it, dang it. There it is. I had to make it where pretty much I have the companies that are going to report. This isn't a comprehensive list. I've narrowed it down to the companies that I think will move a lot, and then I've bolded the companies that I like. So we have to go over this, and then there's 3 earnings plays that I really, really like that I'm probably going to be setting up for tomorrow and throughout the week, and we just have the overall keys and what is happening here in the market. So we have a lot to go over, ladies and gentlemen. So let's not delay. Let's not waste any time. You guys know what you need to do. Drop your thumbs up on the video. Make sure you're subscribed. And if you don't know, we are live Monday through Friday, 30 minutes before open. It's the first link in the description, and it is pinned in the comments. We better see you there in the morning. It's free $99. It costs you nothing to join. YouTube.com/thestockmarket. All we ask is that you're positive and respectful. You could watch the plays. You could chat. You could learn something. Maybe you could just meet a friend and join a cult. A lot of things can happen, and that is even the theme for the market here. I hope you guys are ready. We got earnings. It is officially kicking off. This is the first week with some of the bigger companies, so get ready. And on that note, the most important thing you need to do, post your watch list below. Let us know what you're looking at. You got any plays, comments, remixes, anything, post them below. What are you playing for earnings? What do you have in mind? What do you think about the plays I'm going to play? Post it down below, baby. Okay, again, sorry, earnings gets me hyped. But as far as earnings, let's start with the list. And then when we get into the plays, we will talk a little bit about the companies and the specific ones I'm looking at. But I do want to go over, just the main companies to look out for. And so you guys are going to start to see industries, and this is the first thing I will say for this earnings. Watch out for any sympathy plays. Watch out for companies in similar industries. If one company reports first, it will have an effect on the other ones later. Watch how they move. And then also kind of like UNH showed us, and even like JP Morgan, even though they'll make a move coming into earnings, just don't get caught up thinking that's going to be the move. And then it could even not move for a day or two after it reports, but then there's going to be continuation plays. So right off the bat, you're going to get IBM on Monday. That's going to be tomorrow. They're going to be after hours, so that could be a good one. Any other earnings that pretty much report in the morning, if you didn't play them now, you can't play them. Tuesday, you're going to get Chipotle after hours, Coca-Cola in the morning, Lockheed Martin in the morning, Navient Financial, I believe, after hours, Netflix after hours, Philip Morris in the AM, Snapchat after hours, Texas Instruments after hours, and then Snap-on in the morning. So out of these companies, we already have those old CMG plays. I'm more on the put side. I like them, though. I think this could be a potential big mover or big guidance. Have a move. Coca-Cola, I think that's going to be important. I think we could play sympathy plays. We already have the long-term shares, but that's going to be one. Lockheed Martin, we're already in there. That'll be a great one. And again, these are all for Tuesday. So why am I talking about them now? Because if they report Tuesday morning, you got to get them tomorrow before close. Or if they do report Tuesday after hours, you could either set up tomorrow or you're going to set up the next day. So keep that in mind. Netflix, that's one that's going to move. So again, all the bold ones are pretty much the ones that I think are going to have big moves or big earnings or connected to bigger plays. And then Snapchat. And then this one, watch out for the sympathy plays. This will be kind of one of the first companies with ad revenue. Even though they got a different demographic, it will tell us a lot. And then Texas Instruments, remember, we played this one before. I like them. And then Snap-on, they're going to be good, but that's going to be a big mover. Then next on Wednesday, you're going to get Alcoa in the morning. That's commodities. That is also your, you think about what happened a few weeks ago with steel and all that. I think they could be interesting, but I didn't highlight them just because they're a little harder to play with the contracts. AT&T in the morning, Biogen, again, biotechs in general. We saw what happened with Gild. They've been holding up. I really like this play, so this is going to be one I'm going to be looking to get. Sam Beer after hours, that could be decent. They usually move, but usually expensive. CSX, I'm labeling as a mover, but watch out for, other sympathy plays. This is transport railroad. That's even related to oil and transportation. That could be good. Delta Airlines is going to report, and I don't know if that'll be one I want to play. We got those UALs last week, so we're still holding those, but Las Vegas Sands, watch sympathies like Wynn and MGM and any of those companies. And O'Reilly, this one's a good one, but usually expensive. That could be good with the debit spreads. And then Seagate, kind of like Texas Instruments, a little harder to play. And then Thermo Fisher, that might be a decent one to sell premium on. And then XLNX, that's after hours on Wednesday. We still need to get that one. Then Thursday starts to fizzle out here this week. Then you're going to get Eli Lilly in the morning. This one, I have a specific type of play on it that I want to do. So we'll talk about that there, but they're not really a big mover, and that's kind of here. Again, I'm trying to tell you guys the big movers and not here, but some of them have specific factors. So Intel, this one's kind of a big mover. We've talked about it, though. The premium's already up. I still want to get that play, but then Hershey's, this one's not a big mover. So on these Thursday companies, I'm highlighting these because these could be good premium sells, kind of like that Procter & Gamble play, where they're not really designed to move a lot, or they're not companies that would move a lot. So keep that in mind. You'll get also Southwest Airlines, then VeriSign. These are interesting companies. Again, these aren't the full list of earnings. I'm just picking the ones I think are really interesting and then highlighting the ones that I think are not only interesting, but usually I make a play on or usually have, unique X factors. Then Friday, you're going to get Sanofi and then Verizon. And this one could even be another drug type play, Sanofi, even premium sell. So we'll see. But that is your earnings list. So there's still in other companies. If I missed anything, let me know. We'll talk about it. So let's get this bold now. But as far as the main key for this week, it is going to be watching earnings, and it's going to be the sympathy plays. That is what we're seeing here. And why do I say that? Is because now you're not getting too crazy of a week lining up here. And then we kind of closed last week on somewhat of a positive note with the whole Gilead, Remdesivir, the whole economy getting back to reopen. And that being said, now we also saw what happened with oil. We're seeing another divergence. So I think oil will be a key for this week, but then also currencies. I have something else I'm going to show you guys here. I'm going to go to another screen here in a little bit. But beyond that, watch the currencies, the bonds, and then after last week and then also the economic data this week, we're going to get some trade data for some foreign countries and some other stuff and basic PMI in Japan. And then we're going to get more jobless claims and some oil data. But it's pretty much a slow week as far as even economic data. And we're most likely going to see the market move kind of in an earnings fashion. So that being said, I mean, the final thing to really watch out for this week and how we're going to even go about playing it, watch out for the drug updates on anything from literally virus, remdesivir, anything of that nature, anything from the governors down to the president on economy reopening. How do people take that? Even what information we get from any companies that report as far as the economy reopening and what are the implications and what's the future plan. And then now defaults and any escalation. So that's something you're kind of even seeing with oil. But what I'm looking for now, this is that cycle. I said, give it some time, and this, we still could be early, but pretty much I'm saying if we're going to burn a week, kind of just playing, more in response to earnings, the next level is waiting to see, how some industries might start reacting in their own right. And if they are, I think it's going to be through defaults or more escalation, even more stuff from the Fed. And I think the Fed is at the end of the month here, so we'll see. But that is pretty much it. So I hope you guys are ready. And let me even get to the final point. Let's come here. Just in general, where the SPY is. Again, we're at an interesting point. We were kind of a little shaky there last week and ended up doing good on that end of the week economy remdesivir news. So that was good and made the markets go crazy. But really what I've been looking at, and we've been seeing the last few days, you've seen it with TLT, the number one thing I'm coming out here for is the bonds. And watch the bonds, but then I started looking at all the government currencies, all the global currencies, and you could kind of get an idea of what's happening. Here's the bonds, and watch the 10-year. We've talked about the divergence between the S&P 500 and the 10-year, but just pay attention to what it's doing here, because this is kind of unique, more unique than any other time, because usually when it does drop, it will kind of have a pop up and then come down. But notice how long it took to kind of bottom out, how long it took, kind of a quick bounce, then came up again, then bounced again and held up for a few months. It's like we're kind of doing that. But now let me show you all the currencies. You'll notice, this is an inverse Euro USD. So that means the Euro is getting weaker. There's the pound. You could kind of see a lot of countries and everybody is kind of doing this similar pattern. Again, here's the Japanese yen. So now this means it's strengthening, but you could see it across every currency. And one thing I kind of noticed as we started to get crazy or a little bit more unstable last week up until the end of the week, watch the Chinese currency. This 707 number is a key. So if you start seeing any of these countries now go down, and this was the main point I'm pretty much trying to tell you, watch that 0.5 mark on the 10-year. When the stock market goes there, or when the bond market goes below 0.5% on the 10-year, you're seeing the stock market readjust, and that was that first TLT shock. So it has kind of a big effect here. So watch as we start to get into that 0.5 handle on the 10-year in general. Or now what I'm saying is watch for a lot of these currencies to break out of this range. It's very unique. Obviously, the global currencies, gain value and lose value off off each other. But when you're looking at all of these currencies, especially the Chinese one, they're getting at a interesting spot. And now when we start to get to more of the oil countries, you could see like USD Canada a little bit more weakened, but it's, again, this is just showing that it's weakening. If you flip this chart upside down, it would look just like the euro or the pound. But now you'll even seeing Mexico, they were brought up, but now some countries like Europe, or excuse me, India, they're weakening now at new paces, even the Brazilian real. And then where's the last one? I was looking at the dollar again, where it's at. This is like UUP. But what I'm saying is it's going to be moving slow, but you're seeing them all hold equilibrium, right? Meaning things aren't really solved yet. Other countries are going, and then now I think in the realm of the bond world, this is just moving interesting. It's going to take some time, but this is now what I'm going to be basing pretty much every market move here in the next pretty much week and a half, 2 weeks. That's what we said last week. That's what I'm waiting for. I'm waiting for some of these bigger earnings, and I really think we're going to get a real earnings moving week here this week. So that being said, I'm going to look at all those factors I just showed you. The bonds will probably tell us first if they do start hitting those levels, but we could start to use that and see kind of how things are stable and then make our plays for any broader market moves not based off of earnings at the end of this next week or at the end of the next 2 weeks. So hopefully that doesn't confuse you. There's a lot. We got to be patient. We got to be smart. I hope you guys are ready, but let's talk about these plays now. So let us get into the plays. So right off the bat, here are the plays that we need to talk about. Where is it? Drugs. That's what I want to look at. That's the first thing I want to talk about. These aren't the 3 stocks that I'm going to be buying, but I did make some weird trades on Friday. I bought, I think, INO, CODX. I bought shares of those. Those are the kind of the scammy pump and dump companies, but I want all of them. You know, we don't have any mRNA. Those expired. I want to look for those. We have those Gilds. I want to look at Thermo Fisher. They have earnings. You're also going to get Abbott. Again, Biogen. I really, really like Regen. They've talked about, but any of these, I said it, it's this drug gold rush with the virus. We saw Gild. We saw remdesivir. I want to get in on this. I kind of want to, and what I mean by that is kind of if I could take a bunch of small plays that, you know, risk reward with time and we just have exposure, that's kind of what I want to do. I kind of pretty much want to build a separate portfolio more or less. I'm not going to go to the extreme of actually making another account like I do, but just to give you an idea of what I'm trying to accomplish here with these types of plays, I just want to get a diversified set of a lot of these drug companies because you never really know. There's going to be breakthroughs. A lot of people are going to get fast track approvals. The FDA, the government, they're kind of making it, you know, they're set up to be a clear winner. So we'll see what happens, but I like those. That's the first one. Intel, I still want it this week. I wouldn't really put this in my top 3 just because I haven't looked at them. And the other ones that I'm saying are in my top 3, I haven't looked at them yet either. So I've looked at kind of one of them, but Intel, if Intel is too expensive still, and I don't like the contract price, I'm not going to play it. They have earnings on Thursday, so we could either decide to get it at the beginning of the week, or you could get it Wednesday or the day of earnings after hours. So that's kind of the decision we're making here. But again, that's the ironic part about all of this. And this is what I mean, watch earnings and sympathies, because as we get to the Intel earnings, after some other companies like Texas Instruments and everybody else reports, you might start to get some more information as to how we could expect Intel to perform. And that could even change the contract prices coming into earnings. So there's that. However, the play I do want, they're reporting on Tuesday. I think I'm going to go ahead with this one. But again, I haven't done the prices. So you guys know me pretty much by earnings. I'm going to look at all 3 of these plays that I like, and then if the prices are good, I'll be at the same time, I'll get all 3 of them. But by the time I'm doing one, if the prices change, I'm going to pass up on it. But I like Texas Instruments. We played this before. We've hit 1,000% on it. They could be a good earnings move. They're at an interesting spot just with everything in general, with the chip makers, computers, all of this demand stuff. So I want to watch them set up both ways, you know, with the criteria. I'm either going to do it tomorrow or the day before on Tuesday. So that's the first stock I'm going to be looking to buy. And then the next one, I'll skip this one for a little bit. I'm going to explain this one, but Biogen and XLNX, those are the other next 2. I want Biogen, and we already have Regen, but I'm even thinking Regen. Like I said, Biogen has earnings. It's related to the drug stuff. We've even heard Biogen get talked about in the government, but mainly even Regen. So I'm going to look at those, but that they're going to be more expensive. I know it's going to be hard to play, but I'm going to be looking at those. And then XLNX, we've been watching the last few days, or last week pretty much. It's at a decent price, but I think I'm going to want to set up for this one. And this one, again, later towards the week on Wednesday, so you'll have a little time. And then close secondary play I'm going to be looking at is earnings for Eli Lilly. Just sell a credit spread. Eli Lilly is a very solid company, still at like a 2% dividend yield. They have 100 and something year history of paying dividends. They've been around here. They make medical stuff. They're really just a solid, slow moving company. So from that basis, in with earnings, I'm hoping premiums will be high. Company doesn't move too much. Easy premium sell on selling puts before earnings, or even selling an iron condor and see what we could walk away with. And then finally, Snapchat. They're going to have earnings on Tuesday, and I'm going to do a few different things with them. I'm either going to sell, if the premium on the puts goes up before earnings, I'm going to sell those puts, kind of at a similar one we had. Remember, we already got a $780 off selling cash secured puts this week, or I'm going to do the play after earnings, and then even after earnings, that's when I'm going to decide to get more shares. I've been waiting to get more shares of Snapchat, but I did on the long term, so I'm going to wait till after earnings, and then I could use either premium selling or just straight share purchases and go from there. But what I do think what's going to happen with Snapchat, it's going to lead to other plays, even like Facebook and Google, and the information we get from them will tell us some important stuff about just the industry. So that being said, watch out for them. I mean, watch Facebook. That's why I had it up here. We got that play last week, and I pretty much think there'll be a response to how Snapchat is, and then it'll kind of do its thing, but that could even stop some of the premium juicing on Facebook unless Snapchat does really good, because then if Snapchat does really good, Facebook's going to rock it. But still have that play. I'd watch that this week. Again, they're going to have earnings in the next few weeks, so watch how these companies set up. We're going to see on there. Maybe we could even scale in a little on Facebook. Already did on the put side. Next question is going to be getting in on the calls, but watch them. Watch Gilead, and again, these are all the companies like I'm going to be looking at. We're already in Lockheed on the call side. Chipotle, I don't think I'm going to average down. I might, but I'm, again, more bearish on that play. Snapchat, Texas Instruments. This one, I just want both ways. And like I said, I haven't looked at the premiums. I mean, if we wanted to do it right now, just remember we talked about, you can see some of these. Oh, actually, no. Oh, wow. Those say 29 cents, 50 cents on the bid. So these are probably going to be a little bit high. I mean, that's on the 100-day. In the last few days, as you could see, last 7 days, 20 days, you're going to end up paying, more of the premium, more or less. You're going to be on that, kind of looking on the left side of the chart. So premiums might be high. That might deter me from there, but I like Texas Instruments. However, keep this in mind. It's not really a big mover. So even though it's related to tech and all that, and it can move decently, it doesn't move too much. So just keep that in mind. Then Biogen, that's what we're looking at. Again, you saw from everything with the virus to how it's kind of played out. And you've seen Regen, you've seen even Gilead. So I like them. All those we're going to be in. Watch Boeing again from last week. Had the pop. We lost that strangle last week, $100. Might want to do it another one again this week. And then they're also going to have earnings, I believe, on the 24th. So watch them. Watch Walmart. We were going to sell premium on this. And again, my thesis in play, their earnings isn't until like May. But I pretty much think Walmart, and it might take a breather at some point, but I just think it's going to rocket up until earnings, and the earnings are going to report, and it won't be as good. But watch them. Watch XLNX. Then Las Vegas Sands. I highlighted this as an earnings play. Just watch how they do. Again, they could move a decent amount. This is like 50% from the top, but what they are with the sympathies, their guidance, I think it could be interesting. I want to check the chain, but I feel like that's an earnings I usually don't play. However, considering the situation in that industry, that'll be good to watch, but watch how all the other airlines and everything else does. And then again, Eli Lilly, solid company, want to sell puts in the earnings. Then, like we said, TLT, just watch them and watch how they play out with the bonds. Otherwise, that August play is good. Any May TLTs, they're dwindling. They're offering a unique, risk to reward ratio. I wouldn't get caught with any TLT, UUP, anything, unless it had a lot of time. And I still need to get the GLD plays. And lastly, like I said, some of just the weird biotech stocks. And I'm pretty much showing these to you guys. I grabbed like 100 shares, I think, at INO, or 200 shares. And then I have another 100 or 200 of CODX. I have 100 of one and then 200 of the other. I will have to double check. 100 shares of CODX and then 200 shares of INO. But these are pumps, so be careful on that. And that's what I'm saying. I want to now start just creating a diversified portfolio, more or less. All the bios, if you have any good ones, the more quality, the better. Why I bought these with shares, because I was just thinking, even if they go down 50%, I could at least own the equity. We'll see what happens. But keep that in mind with looking at earnings. But I think that's pretty much it. The market is going to be crazy tomorrow. I hope you guys are ready. It might be crazy just in the sense of earnings. Maybe a little bit slower, but we will see. I think we got a lot of curveballs last week, and we're already at an interesting spot. And what happens with earnings is going to be interesting. So I hope you're ready. But that is your watch list, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you're hydrated, healthy, ready to go. Make sure you post your watch list. Make sure we see you there in the morning. I need your helmet on. I need your head in the game. This is the time you control the balance and the budget. I'm telling telling you, earnings is a great opportunity, but it could chew and spit a lot of you out. Even the market and volatility has already done that. You'll need to control the YOLO demon. You need to set a budget. I'm going to play with $50 a month, 100, 200, whatever you can afford. But if you miss, you slip up, do not cheat and keep adding to the account and break the rules. Just be patient. I need you in the game. This is the first week. It's going to get early. Remember that. You're going to have time. If you miss one, you don't have time for FOMO. You got time to look for Momo, baby. So I need your hood in the game. The code loves you. I love you. I'm going to see you in the morning. Let's go.